And yeah, I just didn't take action on the signs.
I mean, Callie's honest. He's just saying he didn't take action on the side effects. You know, this is great that he's showcasing things that people ignore. People ignore edema all the time. Even obese people ignore edema. And blood pressure is the silent killer of so many people. What is up, everyone? It's Russo. I hope everyone is doing well. Today's ASMR sip is 1907. Check out 1907wire.com. Keep up with Russo. ASMR Spritz, Intelligent Elephant Carbon. Here's your noises. Gotta buy it to actually smell it. Pimp Jacket, Young LA, code Russo. All other discounts in the pinned comment down below. Today is a BS clout grab. I'm reacting to the OG of fitness. The bop, bop, bop. Top Ramen and Tuna, Cali Muscle, one of my favorite fitness icons ever to grace the fitness industry because he's OG meme status. He's untouchable, and he's not only OG meme status, he's legit superstar, right? I'll have Andrew throw up his Geico commercial. So this guy's gone big deals. Sold his Hyphy Mud pre-workout. I'll have Andrew throw that up there. Callie's been in the game. He's been hustling. And I've actually met Callie at the Arnold Expo and super humble in real life. This character he plays up is amazing. You know, I just going to be cracking up in about 5 minutes. In real life, if you would have a conversation with him, he's ultra respectful and I have nothing bad to say other than I'm going to be reacting to him getting real about his steroid use. So a lot of people called Callie out over the years because he was a fake natty, because essentially his top half, Andrew, could be IFBB Pro open status. He never trained legs as hard. His legs were good. They were just never IFBB Pro status legs, but he was portraying himself as completely natural. Now, in my opinion, when you have a Geico commercial circling around, which you probably collect royalties on, I wouldn't be doing anything to get out of that position. So he's not just only been in a Geico commercial. I'll have Andrew find the other commercial he was in. So when you're living that life in the Hollywood business scene, you don't want to be portraying yourself doing illicit substances like you see with the other guys. Cough, cough, Mike O'Hearn, cough, cough. Callie has recently obviously done a clout switch and is completely open and honest. What change happened? He had a heart attack. I forget at what age. He blamed it on the steroids as well as his diet. Remember, his diet was never too good according to him. I don't know. The dude was in tremendous shape. He had very thin, crazy looking skin as far as his muscle bellies are concerned. And it really never looked like he was super bloated. I think his genetics, you know, helped him with that, but had a heart attack, completely quit steroids, and now is playing the different side of the coin of, did he collect all the status money and fame from the perceived perception of his physique on top of his exceptional ability to showcase his character with the physique? If that physique wasn't there, would he have made it as far? We don't know. There is a price to be paid with PEDs, and Callie's just showcasing that. But I wanted to break down this interview because it's hilarious. It's on Escape Fitness.
Prison, Top Ramen, 4 or 5 a day. I used to have fucking headaches all the time. I didn't know about sodium. I was eating that, honey bun, Snickers, all this high cholesterol food. And not to mention, I used to get migraines when I was a kid from the age of 15 to 31. So it was some health going on there. But just eating all that bad food. And then to top it off with bodybuilding with roids. Right. And HGH and IGF and insulin that's clogging everything up. Right.
Andrew, when people used to ask him, he's just like, Top Ramen and Tuna. That's it. Just Top Ramen and Tuna. Now he's coming clean. Now that, you know, he's on a different chapter.
So it just...
So you think it was a combination of just of not great food and then the time taking?
Heck yeah. Well, you clogging everything up. Then I was getting warnings and doctors would be telling me your blood pressure elevated for years. And I'm like, man, look at me, I'm fine. You know, and especially they would use...
Man, look at me, I'm fine. I got swag. Like, again, Callie's just, he's hilarious. You know, his ability to portray on camera is something of noteworthy, you know, substance here. It seems like he just ignored it with his ego the entire time. Like, if your blood pressure is chronically elevated for years, you can get that under control on steroids via pharmacological intervention with all the blood pressure medications available. That being said, you know, he just probably thought he was invincible, had the superiority complex, and it crept up on him. But it is funny where he showcases how he used to thought before God humbled him.
Use an electrical blood pressure machine. I'm like, oh no, you gotta use the manual. That one wrong.
That's not working.
Right. and I kept on just putting it off. So what happened was, when I moved from Burbank to Las Vegas, my feet and ankles swelled up, would just stay swole. I'm talking about abnormal. So I would wear compression socks and all that, just my right foot.
Again, very bad sign is, I'll have Andrew throw it up, edema of the ankles. That means something is very fucked up with circulation, and should be very concerned if you ever have edema, right? You should definitely figure that out. Or you should not just put on compression socks and walk it off. You should see what's going on, especially if you're an enhanced athlete.
So I'm like, I blamed it on Vegas. It got to be the heat, something in this air, man.
It's the heat. There's not enough swag in Vegas.
And I lived in Vegas 4 years going through this. And
Man, 4 years of edema, and some poor doctor couldn't have sorted it for him.
when we did IVF, I went to the doctor, got a physical, all that. They told me my blood pressure was elevated, and I just shunned it off. And I'm like, but I was always scared of that. I knew something was wrong with my body because I was puffy. Even when I did bodybuilding shows, I would take diuretics. And my left side would dry out, but my right side would still hold a film of water. So I was always wary of that, always scared of that. And I just didn't take action on the signs. Yeah.
How many years did you do steroids for?
I mean, Callie's honest. He's just saying he didn't take action on the side effects. This is great that he's showcasing things that people ignore. People ignore edema all the time. Even obese people ignore edema. And blood pressure is the silent killer of so many people. And if you have it your whole life like Callie does, number one, you think that's your normal and that it could never be, re-baseline lower. And then you think that, oh, well, the roids are going to do that anyways. There's never a possibility I can have normal blood pressure on roids, which for certain scenarios, certain cycles, yes. But technically on TRT, HRT, you could get your blood pressure around stage 1 to normal blood pressure. For him to be up there at stage 2, stage 3 hypertension, walking around all the time, that could have been mediated, which he fully admits.
See, when I was 34, I started. 34 to, when did I do my last show? West Coast, no. So I really didn't stop until the heart attack.
Really?
Yeah. But all those years I would get off 3 to 4 months. So I called myself cycling off. And I'm thinking I'm not doing what these other guys doing this amount because I was already genetically, gifted. And, but you had times, bro. That's why that HGH, that IGF, fucking insulin, bro, that's clogging you up. And they tell you, that hardens your arteries or whatever, what they used to say. And I went hard with that for about, I would always I tried to do like the old school bodybuilders, like do it a few, like 6-7 months out of a year, then get off clean. That's why if you look at my videos, I always tell people this is not a new size for me. Every year I would do this. I'd be all huffed up, 240, 50, then I'd trim down to like 220. Every year I would do that. And I thought I was being healthy with it. So yeah, 34 to, when I had my heart attack. So 13 years off and on. I was 40.
I feel like, Callie was an exceptionally genetically gifted athlete, like he says, and Callie was obviously a hustler and has all the reward showcasing it in his current lifestyle. What you can take from this story is that if he had a bodybuilding coach following along his illicit drug use and getting all this under control, I guarantee if Callie could go back, have someone micromanage it the entire time and showcase the science revolving around enhanced pharmacology and how damage is going to occur, but we can harm mitigate. We can check the warning signs and you can make the decision if you want to stop rolling the dice at any time versus you doing what the old school guys did who had different types of pharmaceuticals. Not everything's as clean right now and they might have had different genetics. Like there's all these things that could be, not really lining up with him just saying like, I thought I was doing it the healthy way. Like if you were doing it the healthy way, you'd have a coach pulling blood work all the time. And when you would feel like shit, okay, coach, pull blood work, figure it out, harm mitigate it, and or tell you to stop rolling the dice.
12 years off and on.
Were you using like a doctor to help you?
No, not at all. Right. I was experimenting with myself.
Right.
And that's the benefit. I see a lot of the elite guys, they always got their blood work, stuff like that. And but still, if you don't get an EKG or a PET scan or those scans and look at your arteries, you don't know what's going on. And that's what
this is very true. And this is something that, doesn't back me because I haven't gotten EKG. I'm gonna have to convince a doctor to give me an EKG, but that is very true, is that you should be getting scans at least every year to see if anything's growing out of whack, and things can progress rapidly as well as regress rapidly as far as that is concerned. So very, very good statement by Callie.
what I recommend everybody, getting an EKG, PET test at least once a year. Once when you hit 40, at least once a year.
Do you think there's certain steroids that are better or worse than others, or do you think generally it's now after going through the experience?
Tren is the worst. Tren, Deca, Anadrol, D-ball, they the worst. Well, that clog you up so fast. Insulin to kill you. I remember I tried that, then it died. than eating another. You got to eat like 1,000 grams of carbs on it. I was about to fall out and have a diabetic coma. Just experiment too. Don't know what the hell.
Yeah, he's laughing off his miscalculation of insulin dosages. This is why I don't really do much information on this channel about insulin, because you can go into a coma, and if you're not found, that could be the end if you do the miscalculation. So gotta be careful. More importantly, gotta hire a coach. I know that bodybuilding's expensive. You got the drugs, you got the food, you got the weightlifting, the gym memberships. You have all these expenses before you shell out a ton of money for a good coach to micromanage and tweak everything. You cannot coach yourself into your own show. And if you're just looking for pharma enhancement to elevate your overall quality of life, you are still a polypharmacy drug abuser and need to micromanage your health more than a natural person. He sounds like every other dude, right? That was during that time, right? Just do it myself and I can figure it out. I'm experimenting around. After it's all said and done, would Cali be never had the heart attack? Would he still be in the game? Blah, 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 with the coach that was by his side the whole time? We don't know.
What are you doing? Don't know. It's all experiment.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people in telling videos. You giving data to my kids' generation on what to do, what not to do. That's all this. Even they say they about to start giving military guys roids. You know, back in the day it was illegal, in Arnold day. But and it's funny, steroids help people more than anything, but they make it out as if it's bad. But you can have alcohol, marijuana, they're trying to legalize shrooms.
This is very true. Cali being the OG saying it how it is, that steroids are painted ultra bad, and he even had a bad outcome. But again, he's showcasing everything that can be done and everything that is done every weekend by the sheep.
And you can have all that stuff that actually harm you. Roids help people, you know what I mean? AIDS patients, cancer patients, it helps them. It's just when you abuse it, that's when the problem go, arise.
Do you take anything?
I do think it's dosage dependent, but there's a level of risk, obviously, jumping to the dark side. But yeah, I agree.
Now,
A small dosage. I do like a half a cc every other week. So you're looking at, I do about 250 mgs a month. And that's just to sustain. I didn't want to go cold, even though I did go cold turkey the first few months. But I'm like, I was taking doctor advice that could be dangerous. You know what I mean? Like your body just will shut down or something. You don't have your testosterone level where it should be or whatever. So yeah, I don't do it for
So again, he is listening to the doctor. The amount of HPTA damage Cali probably did at his career might have his HPTA completely offline, unrecoverable. It would be interesting to see his blood work when he was cold turkey to see if anything was firing, TSH, LH, and the pituitary was working at all. But I agree. Someone like Cali probably is a slave to the needle for the rest of his life. That being said, I feel like that was some great OG advice from the OG himself, Cali Muscle. Harm mitigation is the key to this dangerous game. If you think that you are going to get away with just ignoring the blood work, ignoring the signs, you're going to pay for it. And normally the issue will present itself long before it occurs, and you can either get off the train or harm mitigate the route, right? So there's two things that you always need to keep up on, which one thing I really don't, is that's the scans. So you have to find a doctor that you're comfortable with, constantly get scans, and constantly see if there's any hypertrophy of the heart going on. Not me. What I need to work on. Number two, the constant blood work at least every 6 months, preferably with a coach that can read and decipher blood work, as well as read and decipher blood work and account for the toxic substances that you're putting in your body and how they would affect those markers, and or how to add in different substances, aka polypharmacy, to bump or harm mitigate those markers back in place. If Cali had this person in his corner the whole time, his trajectory could have played out differently. Now, back in those days, it was a lot different, and he is one of the OGs, and you can see how much advancement has happened in the fitness industry as far as the openness of the pharmacology of bodybuilding expanding outward into the mainstream. It is now normal to talk about gear. Cali is talking about gear openly all the time, and he's also for gear in this video publicly, stating that, oh, you can drink alcohol, you can buy cigarettes, oh, but the testosterone that helps people, oh, that's scary, right? So you even have Cali, who had a bad outcome of abusing for too long, still stating that testosterone is probably here to stay with this new way of life that we call 2023. So I will see you guys in my next video.